Let's call our third Tuesday meeting to order, November 15th, 2016 at 6:01 p.m. Welcome each of you here tonight. First thing on the agenda is approval of the agenda. I have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, on old business number one, I'm gonna table that one. The bids we received,
Old business number one, table.
yeah.
John?
Chairman, I want to add on the new business on Stagecoach Road by installing a new pipe across the under.
This is an emergency, right?
Right.
Okay.
New business number 4.
Number 4, new business number 4. Okay. Okay, do I have a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion, I get a second? Second. In discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, 4-0. Doing our invocation tonight is Mr. Eddie Wyndham, pastor, and doing the pledge, pastor of New Salem Baptist Church. Please stand.
Let's pray. Kind, gracious Heavenly Father, in the name of Yahweh Yeshua, we come to you, God. We want to praise your name and thank you for all that you do and all that you're going to do. God, tonight I pray that you would bless each and every representative of the districts here, God, that you would bless them with wisdom and knowledge tonight. God, that they would be able to do the business and conduct it in a way that would be pleasing to you, God. For everyone that's in here tonight, God, I pray a special blessing upon them, God, because they have interest in what's going on in this county. God, I pray a blessing over the county and over our city and over the state. God, I pray that you bless this country. Lord, we thank you so much for being able to have the freedom to come in and do these things. And God, we praise you. We ask that you be glorified. We ask it all in the mighty and holy and precious name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Wyndham. Moving on down to board appointments. Approval to reappoint Howell Creek District 2 and Milton Athens District 3 to the Planning and Zoning Board for a period of 5 years. Term beginning January 1st, 2017, ending December 31st, 2021. Need a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion, get a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Motion not read and carried 4-0. This appointment's here for the new Middle Georgia Regional Commission. These here got to be in by December the 16th, and they'll have to be changed after January the 1st. So the ones we got now, county members, Preston Hawkins, chairman, municipal member, Stephen Tingen, mayor, non-public member, voting, Jimmy Roberts, associate members, non-voting, Frank Duke and Francis Adams. So these are just to the December 31st. I need a motion.
So come 2017, and then chairman, the new chairman to take over in that position.
They'll
Okay.
change it.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I got a motion. I get a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried 4-0, I guess. Moving on down to consent agenda. First Tuesday meeting, November 1st, 2016, and executive session, November 1st, 2016. Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? If so, I need a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion, I get a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, 3-0, maybe 4-0, I hope. Moving on down to new business, approval to 217 LMIG project road list. Mr. Jason?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, the 2017 LMIG list has a total of 10.1 miles of paving. The total we received from GDOT this year is $586,062.48. We have a 30% match requirement, which amounts to $175,818. And then we also have $93,357 left over from the 2016 LMIG allotment. So you combine all those, and the total we have available is $855,238. The roads that are on this year's list are, for your consideration, are Sand Creek Trail, Kent Drive, the parking lot at the golf course, Apple Hill Drive, Old Huckabee Road, Taylor Road, Shadow Court, 2.7 miles of Graham Road, Creekside Drive, the Pines subdivision, which I believe is 4 separate roads, and Hampton Hills.
Okay, y'all heard the roads. I need a motion.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion, I get a second? Second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Over off of Bethune, you got Lakeside Court, Smith Lane, Janice Place, Starlight Drive, and Camp Hope Church. These are all small streets. But the citizens over in that area have made a request that there be some paving over there, some of which have some significant potholes. John went and did some repair work on Camp Hope. At one point, there was a space in the middle of the street about this big, where I think a small car could fall in. So I'd love for those to be added to the list.
Okay. John, you know what these roads are?
Not really.
Bethune, Ruby Drive, and then most of them connect off of Ruby Drive,
Okay.
and then Camp Hope is a little further to the left of that.
I'd look at them, John, if y'all got enough money, add them to the end of the list.
Okay.
So let Ms. Margie know before she send them to the state.
All right.
All right. I got a motion second. Any more discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion carried. 4-0, I read. On number 2, approval to continue solid waste agreement with Trees County for the new year beginning January the 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2017. Mr. Jason?
Mr. Chairman, this is an agreement that's identical to the one that was approved a few weeks back with Wilkinson County. And basically, this allows Jones County to utilize a portion of the Twiggs County allotment in the Wolf Creek landfill. And the price here is unchanged from previous years, and I think it's remained constant for the past several years.
So you're asking for a motion to approve it?
Yes, sir.
All right, I need a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion, I get a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, 4-0. Moving on down to number 3, animal control facility name and staffing, Mr. John Jackson.
Good afternoon.
Evening.
How you doing?
I'm here for a couple of things. The first thing I wanted to address, some interest has been expressed to me to want to change the name from Jones County Animal Control. We've discussed it with several people and had a couple of different issues come up, and we'd like to change it to Jones County Animal Services. Just sounds more friendly, more user friendly, more encompasses everything we do. That's the first thing I want to talk about. Is pretty much that simple.
All right, you want me to make that, ask for a motion for that?
Yes.
I need a motion. Change it to animal control, animal services.
So move, Mr. Chairman. Yeah.
It'll be on when the new facility gets built. That's where we're going to put it.
That's when it'd be changed, right?
Right.
Effective a new, opening a new facility.
Right.
All right, I got a motion. I get a second?
Second.
Second, in discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
The second issue I have, as all of you probably know, I've got 4 employees, 2 full-time, 2 part-time, including me as one of the full-timers. And what I'm here for is I'm wanting to take one of my part-timers to a full-time position. Miss Summer has been with us for over 2 years now, and she comes in every day. She's very loyal, never had any issues. She never calls in sick. She's there relentlessly. If we ask anything extra of her, there's no complaints, nothing. And for 2 years, she's been coming in for 4 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, depending on which week it is. She gets 1 day off every other week, and that's it. She's never complained about it. But over the past 3 years, I went back and looked at some of the records. Over the past 3 years, everything's just gotten real tight. Our workload has increased exponentially on an average of 8% per year. We were averaging, I'd say in 2014, we took in 885 animals. Okay. We have adopted out 64 that year. There was 554 of them taken in by rescue, and 239 had to be euthanized. That's dogs and cats combined. In 2015, that went up to 953 animals total. 142 adopted out, which that more than doubled, and 430 rescues. Because of the rise in adoptions, the rescues were a little bit lower. In 2016, up until October, we're up to 787 animals already. 188 adoptions. Adoptions are still going up. We're almost doubling our adoptions every year, which is going to double the revenue. It goes from, over those couple of years, in 2014, $1,280 for adoption fees with the number of dogs and cats adopted. In 15, it was $2,840. And this year, we're on schedule to make 200 adoptions easily, which is $4,000. It just keeps going up with the number of animals we keep getting in. They're getting higher and higher every year. And the workload's increasing. One of the biggest complaints we have for animal control is the fact that we're only open for adoption from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Other than that, myself and Miss Giddens is on calls. We're doing calls in the morning, that's when most of our calls come in from the sheriff's offices during the day. We go and handle calls from the citizens also. And so we're only able to be open from 9 to 1. That's when the part-timers come in and take care of the kennels and take care of the building. And while they're there for those 4 hours, they handle all the adoptions, all the animals that come in. They basically do all the office work during those 4 hours. The other times other than that, like I say, we're out answering calls. Well, one of the biggest benefits to the county for this is we'll be able to make our hours of operation, we'll be able to extend them from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 4:30 p.m., which will give people more time. I've had a lot of people say, one guy even told me, if y'all were giving away a $100 bill and told me I had to come during your office hours, I wouldn't be able to get it because I have to work. So that's just the way he put it. That'd be one of our biggest benefits. Of course, with the hours staying open more, adoptions would increase. The revenue from the adoptions would increase, which is another benefit. That's about it. If there's any other questions, I can try to answer anything you got.
Got a couple of questions.
Yes,
for
sir.
you. Staff is the only group of personnel that handles adoptions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you had 200 adoptions, $4,000. Is that $20 per adoption?
$20 per adoption, yes.
Who pays you for that?
The people that adopt, they pay an adoption fee.
Okay. Are there any other fees we collect?
Yeah, we do collect like owner surrender fees. If people bring in dogs that are theirs, they're not just stray animals. It's a $35 owner surrender fee. If we go out and pick up animals from people as an owner surrender fee, you get the owner surrender fee plus a pickup fee. We have impound fees. If somebody's dog gets impounded and they come pick it up, there's an impound fee.
Are those fees up?
They all go up with the number of animals that come in. Yes, with animals going up, coming in, the adoption fees go up as they adopt out, but it just depends on how many people owner surrender.
Right, I got you, because all the numbers you quoted went up, and I was just curious.
Right,
if the fees
yes,
went up.
everything's going up.
And we euthanize almost half as many as we adopt out. Is there a change in policy that could reduce that?
That's what we're trying to do. The more we adopt out, the less we have to euthanize. That's one of the things. One of the biggest issues we have is space and time. Okay, we can hold 14 dogs. We've got enough cage space for 14 cats, but we also use those cages, we have to double them as puppy cages. So, especially during the spring and the summertime, we're constantly out of room, and I try to make that the only time. I've told everybody is to the best of my power, I'm going to keep an animal unless I run out of space or resource. Or the other reasons for euthanasia is aggressive behavior,
Right.
or really bad medical problems that just they're too far gone to be treated.
What's the timing for our rescue groups to get in and get a pet once it's brought to the facility?
That varies with the rescue groups. What a rescue group does is they have fosters, people that'll keep the animals until they can place it in a permanent home.
Right.
They have the same problems that we have. When all the fosters are full and they don't have people taking animals, then that pretty much stops
Right.
until they can find more fosters.
I'm just curious, is there a way to speed up the adoption process, which brings in more dollars, which connects them to the future owners and rescuers get to do a little bit more?
If we could get more hours of operation, that would increase the number of adoptions. As far as time getting them in, there's really no way to speed that up. Like if you were a foster parent for an animal and we brought you a dog today and the home that he was going to couldn't take it for 3 weeks, well, you'd hold that dog for 3 weeks. Well, in that 3 weeks, animal control gets in 10 more dogs. And there's nowhere to put them because you've already got one.
Last question, can we use interns and co-ops? I know we've talked about this a good bit. Can we use those as options?
One of the things we're doing right now, and it's a great help to us, I've talked to the sheriff about this, we use the inmates. They come in and they help us a lot. The problem with that is they come in at 9 o'clock in the morning and they have to be back by lunch, which is between 11 and 11:30, because we can't keep them in the afternoon because nobody's there to watch them. Somebody has to be there at the facility to watch them when we have inmates. And he's told me a few times that if we could have somebody there from morning to afternoon, we can have an inmate all day. That'll also reduce labor costs.
Work-based learning opportunities with the high school, 4-H, any of that?
We have a liability issue with 18 years old and above.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I guess, John, is there any additional the cost by changing this employee from part-time, full-time? What are we looking at there?
Right. Right now she's making $8.49 an hour. And I'm asking for 11 more hours a week, basically, is what I'm asking for. She can make a maximum of 29 hours a week being part-time. That's 1,508 hours a year. The additional cost salary would be $5,227.
Plus benefits.
Plus benefits. I don't know which benefit package she would choose, of course, so I'm not sure what the number of that would be. With the addition, like I say, with the added number of adoptions that we're getting, we're on track to this year bring in $4,000. Also, when the new building is open, that's going to be 24 dogs. It's going to almost double our canine capacity. 6 puppy kennels, and again, 14 cat cages. The workload is going to go up, but again, the adoptions are going to go up, especially if we have the new hours. We can stay open longer. Right now, the workload is such where it's just pushing everybody right to the limit. We're right on the brink right now because the place stays full. Right now, we're full of dogs. We just adopted out 2 today, but we've already got 3 calls to go on tomorrow. It's probably going to pick up a dog or 2 tomorrow. I mean, it's a rotating door. It never stops. And it's just asking for the help.
So the money, do you have it in your budget, or have you and Jason talked about it, where the money would come from?
Well, I'm asking y'all for it. I have looked at the budget. There are a couple of ways that we're saving money already. The building lease itself is $950 a month. When we get the new building, that's not going to be an issue anymore because that'll be paid for. That's $11,400 a year. So that's a good chunk of it right there.
Some of that money has to serve as a loan.
Right, a portion of that money, we haven't taken out a loan yet, but, if a loan became necessary, a portion of those funds would be used towards, making up any difference, because from my understanding, it's only $200,000 in the SPOS for the animal control services facility. So we had $900, allocated if we choose to go in that direction for, so I guess you have to look at other avenues when it comes to trying to find them resources for this, part-time worker to get more hours. So I guess I would just ask that you and Jason, you guys continue to explore, because right now the money's not in the budget unless you feel like you can, pull it out some type of way.
Right.
I have not had a chance to
Okay, study it, yeah.
study it.
Okay. So that's what I would ask, if you guys would study it together and then come back and give us another
Sure.
presentation on where you guys feel the resources would come from.
John, those fees that are collected, do they go into your budget or into the general fund or?
I'm not sure. Where do they go? Do you know where they go, Jennifer? General fund.
So is there any way we can make those resources go back to the animal control services? So that those may be funds that you can
Right.
use for a part-time, maybe even a full-time employee in the future. So Jason, if you don't mind looking into that for us and maybe make the recommendation that those funds go to animal control. You have additional funds, you may have the resources for another part-time and or full-time
That'd be
employee. Great question, Commissioner Robin.
Just try to round that up and bring it back to next meeting.
Okay, I'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
John. Moving on down to number 4, new business, emergency on Stagecoach Road. John?
Hey, Chairman and board members, we got a pipe across drain on Stagecoach Road before you get to Upper River, and that bottom down there on the back side, it has done rusted and it's done collapsed. And when it rains a lot, which it hadn't done in a while, it's sucking the dirt, and our slope is going away, and it's such a deep field back there that I got 2 prices on boring up on the road. Plus, there's a 8-inch water line that supplies River North and Curtis James. And instead of us digging and closing the road, it'd probably be closed a week or a week and a half. And if we was to do that, our cost just for labor and equipment and materials, you looking at is right at $20,000. If we bore, I got 2 prices. I got one from Souther down off of Gray Highway. It's $20,250. They would bore up under the road wouldn't have to be closed. Wouldn't have to have, traffic control and all that stuff. And then I got another price from Walker, John Walker and them. It was, it come out to be $19,700. I mean, you're looking at $550 worth of difference. I would rather bore it, because if you cut the road, there's a possibility we might bust a water line that's 8-inch. I think it would be cheaper this way to bore.
How deep a cut would it be to get down to that pipe?
You're probably looking at 12 feet.
What size pipe is it, John?
18-inch.
18?
What kind of pipe would you put in it?
Well, Souther and them, they gonna put, it's a black plastic pipe, which is about that thick, and they would fuse it together like a whale, and it's 80 feet of it that's gotta go in. And John Walker and them, they talking about, black, it's a metal pipe, but it's coated. And as they boring they'll be pushing through, you know. I just come to y'all to ask. I would rather go with Southerner on it because he's in the county.
How would you pay for it?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess we could pay for it out of Splash, couldn't we? I mean, it's really an emergency because if it ever starts back raining and water gets going through our road, is on the backside, it's just gonna keep caving in.
What happened to the boring equipment that was down near the water department?
I guess they still got it. I don't know.
Mr. Martin, Commissioner Martin, that's just a auger. It's not a directional bore that you push pipe at the same time.
Okay, so we can't use it for,
No, sir.
and just remind me, for some reason I remember Gray Highway, we went across like, what, 4 lanes of highway for under 20 grand, and then it ended up hitting rock and it cost an extra 17,000.
Right, that was at Sand Creek, Rock Creek, Sand Creek.
So we can go across 4 lanes of highway for about 20 grand, but we can't go across 2 lanes of road for half that?
It's just different.
Okay,
It's just different type of boring. Tim, he probably went to you, if he's still here.
okay.
He's gone.
Oh,
But he
man.
explained to you different, horizontal boring, like you said, the gas company, telephone, putting a little missile up underneath the road, and a yellow guy that directs it, kinda like which way you want to go and stuff. Plus, we just shoot it straight across.
And hope for the best.
My suggestion is like John, do Boyle, do your 12 feet deep, our water line will be exposed, probably look at this room. Blowout, 99.9% it's gonna blow out. Rebel North, Up River Road, will be out of water. It's on the Up River Road side of the boost pump station. So, we'll buy parts and all stuff to relocate the water line, looking probably $10,000-15,000 for that, come out of Public Works budget, not mine.
So this is Souther's going to, or if we go with Souther, they're going to do all of it.
Right. The only thing we will have to do when they get through is maybe put some riprap around the ends of the pipe, or maybe a little dirt, and that'll be it.
Well, I make a motion that we go with Souther since it's a county company.
I got a motion, I get a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second, any discussion, no discussion?
Yeah,
And to pay for it out of Splosh.
Okay.
I had a quick question, Mr. Chairman, if you'd indulge me. Is there anybody in the room that has expertise in this area? Nobody?
Very little, but the terrain has a lot to do with the cost of that boring too. You gotta get your equipment set up at a grade level low enough.
Right.
Or under the road, with an 18-inch bore, they're gonna have to, and I know the terrain he's talking about, there's a pond on one side,
Right.
a creek bed on the other that leads to another pond. So, you basically have to get below the 12-foot level of grade on the right-hand side of the road, or grade, to get your equipment in there. So there's a lot of staging that's involved in that, I'm sure, getting equipment in there. So
And
it's
that-
not like Gray Highway where you can just go straight up the line.
Okay.
Different size too, kind of like 8-inch wide, 18. It'll be different again.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, John. Table number 1 on old business. Number 2, Mr. Matt, award bid for construction manager on Highway 18 expansion concession building.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. We went out for bid about a month ago for the recreation concession manager. Shannon and Mr. Jason's office sent out 17 requests. We got 3 responses. Those responses was Dane Ferry Properties, $33,000 from Gray, Georgia. R&RB Associates, $41,000 from Riverdale, Georgia. And Group Development, who came in a little awkward with his bid. He came in at $85 an hour at a minimum of 40 hours a week with no max determination or minimum determination of how many weeks it would take. And they're out of Hayes, Virginia. After we tabled it last week for further discussion and some more deliberation due to the budget constraints of the construction project. And tonight I'm here to ask that Danes Ferry Properties be awarded the bid for $33,000 under the assumption that Danes Ferry Properties is willing to negotiate a lower price to come more acceptable range for the construction price, because we have a threshold that we can't go at.
I guess what I want to do is, before we go there, is just have a discussion with the board and kind of get the board's take on it. I spoke with Senator Burt Jones, and Senator Jones mentioned to me that we could do a variance on this project. And with it being that it's a county building, the county could do a variance, whereas building it, we would not have to have someone with the general contractor's license. Our county engineer has agreed to help us build this concession stand. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Has agreed to help us build this concession stand so that we could save the $33,000 for a construction manager. And I'm asking Attorney Childs, is that an acceptable variance that the board can make on a county building?
I don't think so, Commissioner.
Okay.
I think, Mr. Kitchens, were you asked about this? Did anybody contact you about it? I know you've been involved with this in Bibb County. I mean, I'm not saying there's not a way to do it, but if there is, I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
I reached out to Tim Petrowski. I did reach out to Mr. Kitchens, and I also asked Mr. Frank and about the conversation with Mr. Senator Jones, and all three of those persons don't think that we could go that route. That's just what they
It's
shared
called
with me.
public construction law. I mean, it applies to public projects.
Is that right, Sam?
Right. The state would have the authority to give a variance, but local governments don't have that authority to give variance on their own.
On buildings, okay.
I think the senator is well-meaning, but I believe he's wrong.
Right. It was just something to bring before the board, because if that was a way we could save, some money, then I'd like to see us do that.
How big is this building again?
It's 78 feet long by 37 feet wide, I believe.
Making me work for it today, huh?
2,500 square feet, roughly.
2786, okay.
And the animal control building, what was the price for it? The construction manager?
I think he was under the 20,000. The reason I bring up to recommend Danes Ferry Properties at 33,000 was to honor the bid process, since we did go out for bid, and I wanted to. Danes Ferry Properties was an entity that showed interest originally before we went out for bid to doing this, because they're a local community, a local business to the community. Their kids and grandkids played in that facilities. And he's here tonight. I don't want to speak on his behalf, but he's here tonight. I feel certain that he's willing to lower the price back to what he was originally willing to do it at before the bid process went out.
It's a lot going on.
To be more clear on what happened is, Danes Ferry Properties was willing to do it at a set rate below the $20,000 threshold.
And why didn't we do that? Because
it was recommended by the county manager that we put it out for bid to make sure we were being transparent in the process.
I concurred with that. I talked to Jason. I think that was just the best thing to do.
Yeah. And so that's why we did that. Well, then when the prices came back, that was beyond the threshold of the budget that I have to be able to, build the concession building. And so with that, we started looking at other options, bringing in Department of Corrections, doing our own variances. But we just started brainstorming the best we could, and didn't really hardly find a way. when we tabled it last week, Mr. Jackson with Dane Ferry Properties called me and questioned, hey, why we tabled it, what's going on? And I explained to him, you're beyond my threshold of what I have budget-wise to spend. And that's when he's made me aware that what his intentions were if we needed to. And so that's why I'm asking tonight to award it to him, since he is the low bidder at $33,000, and to see where he's willing to come back down to dollar-wise. And have him come up if you like.
Refresh my memory real quick on the animal control facility. Did we bid that, or did we just professional service that one?
Professional service.
Okay.
But I think going forward, the animal services project was unique, as we all know.
Right.
A lot of community involvement, and it was certainly legal to do it that way. It expedited things. We had a lot of help from a lot of people, but I think going forward, just for a lot of reasons, it would be better to bid these things, even if we don't have to, for a construction manager, as opposed to a general contractor or getting a bid for the whole project.
But if we did the agreement we did for the animal control facility, can we do the same thing for this one?
Good. I would not recommend it, particularly when you've got somebody who's willing to apparently come, went through the bid process, see where that comes in, and a lot of times maybe result in something like this. Somebody bids enough to get the low bid, and then still willing to work with us if they're local, like apparently the case is here.
If I remember the motion correctly, Jonathan motioned that we use the same procedure for building the animal control facility with regard to this building. If I remember the motion correctly.
No, I'd asked to do a variance, and that's when I found we couldn't do a variance.
No,
Okay.
it was
Okay,
way
while
back,
back.
almost right after we did the animal control
It
facility.
was.
Oh yeah, I did ask if we could do the same thing, because I asked if Mr. Scott Jackson would do it at that time, and for whatever reason, it just kind of died. It didn't go anywhere. Because I mean, if he's going to do the animal control facility, why not let him do
Well, it was, you had asked that, and Mr. Underwood recommended that we bid it.
Okay.
And that's where we went out for bid.
Okay.
All right. Could I ask a question real quick? Could the commission make a motion to award the work to the low bidder at an amount not to exceed X number of dollars, whatever the pleasure of the group would be? Would that be appropriate?
Yeah, it would.
Just a thought.
What's your threshold?
Sir?
Are we using the threshold amount for construction?
Yes, sir. You asked me what dollar it is?
I'm asking, are we able to disclose that at this moment?
Oh, yeah, yes, I'm fine with that. I mean, budgeted was, for the construction manager was, probably around $18,000 to $20,000. And I disclosed that number, obviously after the bids were open, after we honored the process. Nothing was done out before, because we did the bid opening here in this room. But when Mr. Jackson called me with Danes Ferry Property and asked me why was the table, what was going on, and I was expressing my concerns on my budget and what I had to spend, he said that he would be willing to honor, work with me and get down to that threshold.
Not to exceed 18,000.
Well, I was as long as not to exceed 20,000 for sure. But 18, it's up to y'all at that point.
What's your budgeted for?
No more than 20. I was somewhere between $18,000 and $20,000 what I was looking at dollar wise. We were originally before the bid process, were going to try to, go the same route as animal control, like Commissioner Pitts had recommended. And then we went through the bid process, And I don't know that we expected numbers to come back this high, which is kind of what, threw me out a little bit. But Mr. Jackson is willing to come back with inside the $18,000 to $20,000 threshold. And again, you can ask him why he's willing to do it, but he shared it with me because his kids both play ball there. He played ball there. His family's from here.
Yes, what I want to do is make a motion that we work with Mr. Jackson and see if he can get us within that $18,000 to $20,000 threshold. If he can't, then he just have to come back before the board, and we'll just have to share at that point what we're going to do.
I got a motion. I get a second.
I'll second it.
Second, any discussion? Not all in favor? Motion carries. Take a get it, Matt.
Was that 20,000?
Between 18 to 20. Mm-hmm.
Moving on down to number 3, approve execution of 218 transit application. Mr. Jason?
Mr. Chairman, what you have before you is the 5311 transit application, and this is the bus service that I believe has been available in the county for many years, and this is the transportation where you can call and they can take you to doctor's appointments or the grocery store or any number of different things. It's a program that's partially funded by the federal government, partially by the state government, and then there's a local match. And in this year's application, you have funding for operations, and then there's also about $4,000 there that is the county's match to go towards the purchase of a new van. I think we have a fleet of 3 vans, and I believe replacement of the other 2 has been authorized now, and this would replace the 3rd. And so the fleet there should be in good shape for a number of years. And again, the county only has to contribute about $4,100 to the purchase of that new vehicle. All total, I believe we're looking at about $75,000 for the local government contribution to the program. And in your packets, you have a resolution, and so the recommendation would be to approve that resolution, which authorizes applying for these funds.
Okay, I need a motion.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion, I get a second.
Second.
Second, any discussion?
Any discussion? It's pretty much, these are just funds already allocated towards the project anyway, right? We've been doing it for years, so
That's right.
yeah, perfect.
One quick question. Is there a reason why we pay insurance on the vans?
Are they considered our vans?
I don't know.
Are they considered our vans?
I think technically they are considered our vans.
So why are they not under just our corporate policy?
They're insured under our ACCG funds.
I mean, do we self-insure? I mean, as ACCG, they kind of self-insure all of our stuff. So why would we pay a separate $6,000 a year insurance policy? I'm just curious.
Right, it's worth looking into for sure. If we can save $6,000.
Extra $6,000.
Well, I'll have to get back with you.
No problem. Just, thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Motion carried. Moving on down to number 4, Highway 49 booster pump station easement. Mr. Freddie?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I gave Margie a copy of it last meeting. We talked about easement for the Highway 49 booster pump station, getting a 8x30 easement. I think all y'all have seen it before last week. Right there. I have talked to Miss Deidre Stewart, who is Miss Mabel Collins' daughter, and what do you think that one? And she has agreed to sell us that easement, or gives that easement for $1,000. So my recommendation is to the board to Paid Ms. Collins $1,000 for the 8x30 easement at Highway 49 boost pump station. And Attorney Childs I emailed him all this stuff yesterday or this morning, and he has all the paperwork. Max Davis had recorded in the clerk of court up there at the courthouse. It's on Plat Book 22, page 283, if anybody's curious to look at it.
Where would the money come from?
Come out splosh, yes, $1,000.
So you reckon you gotta have it, ain't you?
Yes, we gotta have it.
Okay.
If we got the GFA loan already.
Yeah, I need a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion, I get a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Fred.
Freddie, while you're up there, can you give us an update on our Baldwin Jones County project?
Talked to Jason Kidd, and we still talking with Mr. Ralph, and we trying to work logistics out. So who gonna do this, who gonna do that? So it's an ongoing thing. Yes.
Thank you.
We're down to department head. John, you got anything else?
Yes, so I'd like to thank Matt and his crew and Keith Roberts for the appreciation dump. Turned out real good.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Good job.
Yeah, they did.
And then, Walpole Law was in there, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yes, they done a bunch of stuff. They done a good
Burgers and
job.
hamburgers and hot dogs. I ring the buns too, didn't
Mighty nice.
And I didn't mean I was gonna walk over here. Thank you, John. You know, I'm not gonna be here next meeting. I'll be on vacation the first meeting in December, so I just wanted to say a quick little word. I wrote a little something down. This is to you, Chairman, and well, Commissioner Giles. He can't hear me. He may be streaming me right now. Dear Chairman Hawkins and Commissioner Giles, the Jones County Water Department and myself wants to thank y'all for all the support that y'all have extended to the Water Department and myself during your term as commissioners. You have been nothing but helpful and supportive, and that means more to us than you ever know. I really appreciate how y'all have always been so friendly, supportive of all the Water Department efforts, even when they are slightly misguided. Working for y'all has been very enjoyable most of the time. Just kidding. I have learned and grown a lot. A lot of my friends hate going into their jobs, but I have always looked forward to coming to work here. Y'all's encouragement and support have made all of the difference in the world to us. In Jones County, I want to say thank you for all your support. Thank you.
Yeah, Fred.
I expect a raise next week.
Matt, you got it.
I'm good, sir, thank you.
Jason, you got anything?
No, sir.
Animal control groundbreaking ceremony.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I did have one thing. Margie and I were talking earlier today about working to schedule a groundbreaking for the animal control facility sometime between now and the end of the year. And just wanted to get everyone's thoughts on that and see if that's something that y'all would like to do.
Be great.
That's great. Y'all just work out on that.
Okay, we sure will. One other thing, animal control related, that I just thought about, and John Mike can add to this, but there's a fundraising effort going on right now with Hart's Mortuary, and all the funds that they raise this year will be going towards the new animal control facility. John has information on that, and we're very fortunate that they chose Jones County this year to be the sole recipient of those donated funds. And so we look forward to that and would encourage everyone to participate. And John's got flyers and more information on all that if anyone's interested.
Hey,
Mr. Chairman, I would like to say that if I can. I may get myself in trouble for doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I felt like tonight when I was just asking for the award of the bid process that I was being questioned as if I was doing something wrong. I came up here to try to do what's in the best interest of the county by reducing the rate of the cost of the construction manager. I wanted to do the same thing animal control did because it's the best feasible way and it's what we could do to save money. We went out for bid because that's what my boss said do. It came back at a higher rate outside what I thought was too much to pay for the time. So when Mr. Jackson called me and we talked about it, and he was willing to go down on his rate back to the original price, that's why I came up here and requested that tonight. Not because there's anything under the table or not done right. I could have easily come and said, recommend $33,000 and went and sat back down. Could have easily done that, but I didn't. But I felt like I was questioned as if I did something wrong. Thank you.
Okay, Matt. But you're gonna have that on the next meeting?
Yes, sir.
Like the other?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, I ain't got nothing. Mr. Jackson, you got anything else?
Good. Anybody had any questions about the fundraiser, just give them anything you got flyers.
Moving on down to commissioner's comments, John.
No, sir, I don't have anything, Mr. Well, I do have something, Mr. Chairman. The high school, the Maggie Caleb Ninth Grade Academy, they had a meeting over there last week, and they're seeking support from the city, the county, and the Board of Education to share ideas about what they can do with that facility. They're hoping to leave that facility within the next 3 to 5 years and pretty much leave it up to the city, county, Board of Education, the community of what they would like that facility to become. So what I like to do is ask the Board of Commissioners to send a letter to the Regional Commission to see if they'd be willing to help out as they explore some different options of what that building could become. Over in Macon, they've taken some old schools and made it housing for seniors. I feel like it'll be a great opportunity to maybe expand Central Georgia Tech and some of the programs that they offer. They have more facilities for it. And it's just as endless with the possibilities that that facility can become. So with that, I want to ask the Board of Commissioners for approval to have the Regional Commission show their support for that project. And then another request I have is going to help out Commissioner Martin in District 4. We'll receive that $300,000 CHIP grant. So I just want to ask Jason and Ms. Tyson to continue to explore that so we can go ahead and get those applications out to the residents in District 4 to try to make improvements to their homes. Because right now it's starting to get cold. And I mean, if you have any types of leaks and stuff in your home, I mean, this is a great time to try to get some repairs done. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Roberts.
I want to thank Matt and his department too. The employee appreciation day, I think, turned out really well. Everything was just, I don't think it could have been any better. Did an excellent job. Thank you.
Mr. Martin.
Yes, I want to thank the employees as well. And I wish we could get a sort of set time schedule when we're going to do it, because I think we did it one time in the spring and sometime in the middle. Will we normally do it during the fall?
Usually around September, but
On September, okay. Felt like it was spring.
push later for coolness, maybe.
You're so hot.
Hi. But I thought it was great. It was good interaction. And I think the employees had a good time, and thanks for everybody that participated. Matt, I want to just share this with you. I signed checks last week and I started emailing Freddie questions. Absolutely. I promise you I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to ask more. And I don't know if it was me or somebody else's questions, but part of the reason why I think we should ask these questions, because some of it is borderline maybe not legal or doesn't sound legal, like some of the stuff that we're doing. Because I know I would feel some type of way if I was a bidder on a project and somebody else got to negotiate a deal afterwards. And that's, I think, the premise upon some of our questioning. I don't know about any of the other stuff. And I can't say I'll ever make an apology for asking questions, because I won't. I was elected to do that, and I think I do a pretty good job most of the time. Not everybody appreciates it. That's okay. But we know you're being a good steward. At least I believe that. Other than that, we wouldn't allow you to go out of county with a check to buy equipment. All right. All right. So just keep that in mind. CHIP grant, excited about that. I know we approved it a long time ago. Wasn't really apprised of anything after that. So who's ever working on it, love to get with them
So Jason and Ms. Tyson, I mean, we've been awarded 300,000 just right now is getting the funds, getting application to potential, residents in that area, just so that they can, apply for the funds, help be awarded the funds, and make those improvements to the homes.
Yeah, I remember voting on that, and then I think I heard about it in another meeting. I was like, wow, all right, we're doing it.
Yep.
In general, we have some platform stuff that happens with ACCG. Commissioners have the opportunity to go to different meetings across the state. I've participated on a number of them. One in particular, revenue and finance. We talk a lot about the taxation of citizens. That TAVT that rolled out, and Brian could probably attest to it, and Jason when he gets through the budget. There were some budget sort of shortfalls, and the state has been looking at ways to make those up. I'm going to tell you, at one of these platform meetings around the state, they talked about taxing four-wheelers and dirt bikes. It's all based on numbers in the meeting. So if 5 of us go, 5 of us get to vote, even though we're all from the same county. We need to make sure we have good representation, and we tell our partners, because you'll have a tax on it that you did not agree to or support, but it'll come through the system. And those are just little things that they're talking about, and you'd be amazed at some of the other stuff that they come up with. So when you see district meetings, if you're out on our website or out on our individual pages, please go, because citizens can go and participate. There was a county where they had a not rescue, but they took in possession 100 dogs, and they were vicious, and they had to maintain those dogs for that entire court case. And if we already have a problem with the 14 that we're running, it'll be a serious expense later. So make sure you come out and participate. And again, commissioners, I encourage you to come out and do the same thing. We've got some board appointments coming up, and those are also important. In the list that we had, it looks like Mr. Dukes and Mr. Adams made almost every single meeting. So it's good that they're on the committee and good that they go, but we also need to make sure that they're representing the interests of the county, and that we also get some fresh faces and new blood. I go to a number of board meetings around the county. The average age is probably 62 plus. Nothing against those senior members. Y'all vote. We appreciate that, but you show up too. But it also affects how the county makes decisions. And you got to think about that. Sometimes change is good. So again, thanks for the employee celebration. And I hope we can do a greater and more awesome job next year.
Give it back the credit he started. He can do it again. Actually, it's Animal Services turn.
Animal service. Take a dog.
Down to citizen comment, 1 minute.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, y'all, Herb Ingalls from Haddock. I'd like to comment on animal control, and I wholeheartedly support John's request for getting some additional employment so that he can increase hours from being inside the animal control community, or the animal community here in Jones County. Also, I've got a tremendous amount of background with shelters around the country. Actually, had been a trainer since 1999, actually taught over at Georgia College for a number of years. So, in other words, this is an informed support. He's doing a tremendous job. Getting the increased hours will also help the county's rescue groups work with animal control to the benefit of the animals, not just adoption, but a lot of the day-to-day care that actually needs to be done. We're within the community actually looking towards the opening of the new animal shelter so that we will have the room and the area to get in and do what we can to help out. And that's my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Ingalls.
Anyone else, 1 minute?
Yes.
Tom Payne, Wayside, Georgia. I have yet to see or hear any plans about the recreation concession stand, and we're working on a construction manager now. I mean, what is wrong with just getting up and setting the plans and putting them out for bid here in middle Georgia and get somebody to come in and build this thing and be done with it and have a set finished price? I don't understand why we don't do that. All right, thank you.
Anyone else, 1 minute? If not, for the good of all, don't ask for adjournment to go in executive session for litigation.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Our motion is second. In favor?
I'm calling all and telling them people a bit, so they don't have to call locate either. Just let me know.